Welcome to No Rules Review with your host, Ethan Millay.
Hey everybody, Ethan Millay here. Today we're going to talk about Samurai by Dr. Reiner Knizia. Samurai is a game for 2 to 4 players that finds players trying to establish their influence throughout feudal Japan. They want to influence the farmers, represented by rice, the monks, represented by Buddha statues, and the aristocracy, represented by tall hats. You will get a map of Japan that actually changes in size based on the number of players. And players are going to, at the beginning of the game, sort of play a little mini-game of putting out the 3 different types of tokens on the board. Many cities can only take 1 type of token, some can take 2, and Edo can take all 3. So players set the board themselves, which allows them for some variety from game to game. And then on the player's turn, you're going to be playing tiles from behind your screen onto the board. The tiles are either going to have power for influencing the monks, power for influencing the peasants, or power for influencing the aristocracy. There are also tiles that are Ronin tiles that can sort of act as a wild card. So you're putting these on the board in designated spots, and when you have completely surrounded a token on land, whoever has the most power in that type, for that type of token, wins that token. And play keeps progressing. You move around the board and you're fighting over different things, and eventually when the game ends, people have to total up what they have. And this is where Samurai is very unique. This sort of follows other Knizia titles in the you want to have the most of the least of something, but it's got a twist even on that. In Samurai, you have to have the most of one of those 3 items. If you do not have the most of any of them, you are automatically eliminated from contention to win the game. Even if you have the most overall items, you have to have the most of one of them. Once that is decided, then you go into whoever has the most of their second most and their third most. If you have the most of 2 types or all 3 types, you would win automatically. But if nobody's done that, then you go to whoever has the most of one of the types. If you don't have the most of any, you're eliminated. They remove those types, so they can count up the total number of other pieces they have, and whoever has the most wins. So it makes it really interesting because as you're playing the game, you've got opponents who are collecting pieces, and you're trying to collect as much as you can, but you can't just sort of be a jack of all trades. You need to pick one type of thing to try to make sure you have the most in. I mean, sure, there's a memory element there, but you don't need to play it like that. But you sort of have to try to get an idea of, well, does Anthony have a lot of the monk statues? Does Emma have a lot of the rice statues? Does Lana have a lot of the hat statues? Which one am I going to go after? Who seems to be the one that I could most likely overcome to try to win one of those 3? So it's neat. You can't just say, I'm just going to get a lot of, the same type. And you're limited. Everybody has the same tiles. So you're limited by what tiles you play. You don't want to squander your tiles. It can be tempting at times to sort of lay down tiles just to finish fighting over a token, just so you can grab it before somebody else swoops in and steals it from you. But if you're putting down, rice tokens around a Buddha statue, you're sort of wasting those rice tokens because you should be trying to win rice tokens or statues elsewhere. So it's a great game. It involves a lot of thinking. There's sort of a neat, aha moment in the game, because you normally can only play, I believe it's 1 tile on your turn. But there are certain tiles with a little Japanese symbol at the bottom that are free to play. So you can sort of hoard them behind your screen, and then when it's really important, go boom, 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 and just win lots of stuff, or at least thwart somebody else's plan. There's also this neat spatial element that a lot of these cities are located near each other, so placing a tile might influence not just the one city, but the other one. So you're fighting over that constantly. Overall, though, this is a great game. It's not a very heavy game, though you can make it heavy if you really sit and think about it. It can be played very light. Fantasy Flight Games just released a brand new version of this. I have the old Rio Grande Games version. I don't believe they made any changes. They changed the components. I prefer the Rio Grande Games components. They're sort of a backlight material to make the tokens. I don't know what Fantasy Flight uses, probably plastic. But if you're looking for a game that plays well for 2 to 4, that involves some thinking and some outwitting your opponents, I can't highly recommend Samurai enough. This has been Ethan Malay with another No Rules review. If you like what you saw today, share, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.
This has been another No Rules review by Ethan Malay. If you enjoyed this video, consider sharing, commenting, liking, and most importantly, subscribing. For this and other great games, join us over on BoardGameGeek.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.